Did you know that a single nighttime hypoglycemic episode can silently take your parents' lives without any warning signs? This isn't to afret, it a fact. Recent statistics show that 1 in 3 seniors with diabetes faces 3 times the risk of sudden death from low blood sugar. Even worse, most of them don't realize that they're in danger. Are you caring for a parent over 70 with diabetes? How can you be sure they're on the right treatment plan and not stuck with outdated guidelines that no longer fit their age? You're not alone. Global searches for diabetes, care for the elderly, have skyrocketed by 195% in the past year, especially in the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and Japan. And it's easy to see why. Diabetes at 70 is the same as diabetes at 30. Every principle in blood sugar targets to medications, diet, and exercise must be completely rethought. Today's video will be your survival guide for seniors living with diabetes and for the adult children who worry every single day about their parents' health. We'll cover why low blood sugar is so dangerous for older adults, which diabetes medications should never be used in seniors, how to choose the right blood sugar target that's low enough to be safe but not so low it's risky, and finally, how seniors can still live happily, healthily, and independently despite chronic diabetes. Stay with us, because one small misunderstanding could cost your loved one their life. When you hear the word diabetes, most of us immediately think of dieting, pills, and daily blood sugar checks. But once someone is over 70, it's not that simple anymore. Did you know that nearly 1/3 of Americans aged 65 and older have diabetes, the highest rate of any age group? Even more striking, over half of all U.S. diabetes treatment costs are spent on this age group, largely to manage complications like kidney failure, blindness, stroke, and even limb amputation. Diabetes in older adults is a completely different world. The reason for this is that an aging body isn't as sensitive to insulin. Pancreatic cells weaken, muscles shrink, and the nervous system responds more slowly. That's why many seniors experience low blood sugar without feeling it, that condition, called hypoglycemia, unawareness. Listen to Sarah's story. She's a 78-year-old grandmother living independently in Toronto. Sarah is meticulous. She takes her medications on time and walks for 30 minutes every morning. One day her daughter came to visit and found Sarah unconscious on the kitchen floor. The cause? A sudden drop in blood sugar in the early morning. Sarah didn't feel hungry, she was shaking, and there were no warning signs. If her daughter had been just 15 minutes later, Sarah might never have woken up. Sadly, this isn't too rare. According to the Endocrine Society, seniors face twice the risk of hypoglycemia compared to typical diabetes patients, and tragically, many die without anyone realizing what happened. The solution is that we must completely personalize treatment goals. We must rethink medications, diet, exercise, and blood sugar monitoring, and that's exactly what we will cover in the next sections. Are you ready to discover the number 1 secret? How to find the right blood sugar target for your parents? Because what seems but normal to you may be pushing them to the brink of danger. Do you remember the old advice? Keep your HbA1c under 7% to prevent complication. Is that true for younger adults? But for seniors, not only is it wrong, it can be dangerously so. The latest guidelines from the American Diabetes Association and the European Diabetes Working Party for older people both agree that older adults need more flexible blood sugar goals tailored to their overall health. Imagine 3 groups of older adults. For those who are healthy and active, the aim is for an HbA1c below 7.5%. For those with chronic conditions or limited mobility, the goal is below 8%. And for those with multiple health issues, cognitive decline or frailty, the target is below 8.5%. Doesn't that sound higher than usual? Yes, and by design. When someone in their 70s or 80s may not live long enough to see the benefits of a tight control, avoiding low blood sugar episodes, falls, and confusion is far more important. Consider the real-life example of Mr. William, age 81. William, a retired engineer in San Diego, lived alone and was very disciplined. He followed his meal plan, checked his glucose daily, and took his medications like clockwork. Yet, after a mild fever, he suffered a severe overnight hypoglycemic event. His neighbor found him unconscious the next morning because he hadn't come out for the paper. At the hospital, the doctor asked William, son, but why is your father still on a high-dose sulfonylurea at his age? His son replied, puzzled. But I thought keeping data in HbA1c under 7% was best. That's and the tragedy of using one-size-fits-all targets for people whose needs have changed. The key tie is that HbA1c is an average. But for seniors, preventing big swings throughout the day matters more than hitting a boot-perfect average. So where should you begin? You can start by assessing their overall health to see if your loved one has heart or kidney disease or any cognitive issues. Then discuss with their doctor which HbA1c range best suits their health profile. Finally, you must stop competing with younger targets because diet control isn't worth the risk of dangerous lows. Blood sugar doesn't have to be perfect, just safe and steady. In the next chapter, I will introduce a new technology that being called a revolution in diabetes management for seniors, and the remarkable benefits it brings. Did you know what makes diabetes most frightening in old age? It's the dangerous moments that happen in silence. No symptoms, no warning, and by the time they be discovered, it may be too late. But today there is a new silent guardian, continuous glucose monitoring, or CGM. This technology requires no finger pricks and no need for 3 to 4 daily blood tests. Most importantly, it provides real-time alerts for low or high blood sugar. Consider the story of Ms. Olivia, age 74, living in Tokyo, Japan. Olivia lives with her daughter and grandchild. Despite having diabetes for over 10 years, she often forgets to test her sugar because she feared the needle. Her daughter decided to try a skin patch, CGM, that connects to a smartphone. Within just 2 weeks, the CGM detected 3 episodes of low blood sugar at 2 a.m., more time no one expected. After adjusting Olivia's medication using that data, she no longer woke up dizzy. She slept better and her mind felt noticeably clearer. According to a study in geriatric nursing, 81% of seniors can use CGM effectively, if they aren't tech-savvy. The key benefits of CGM include real-time alerts when glucose levels go outside a safe range, data sharing with family members and doctors remotely, a reduced risk of overnight hypoglycemia, which is the leading cause of sudden death, and no need to remember testing time since the device does it all. Popular devices like Giscom, G-Soaks, and Freestyle Libre Ba allow data sharing with 10 to 20 loved ones at once. You can finally sleep soundly, knowing your parents are being watched over every minute. Some tips for using CGM in seniors include placing the sensor on low-friction areas, such as the back of the upper arm, providing simple picture or video instructions on how to use it, and always checking the battery life and connection signal. With CGM, older adults can live freely while being protected every second as if they were in a hospital. You might be wondering, but which diabetes medications are safest for seniors? Many blood sugar-lowering drugs can be dangerously risky at this age. In the next chapter, I will outline exactly which medications to use, which to avoid, and why. In younger patients, doctors can flexibly choose from many diabetes drugs, but in seniors, just one wrong pill can lead to coma, broken bones from a fall, or sudden heart failure. That's why geriatric specialists recommend to start low, go slow, meaning you should begin with a low dose and increase it very gradually, and most importantly, you need to know which drugs to use and which to avoid at all costs. Let's break them into 3 groups. First, is the gold list, which are first-choice medications that are safe and effective for seniors. This includes metformin, which is inexpensive, widely used, and rarely causes low blood sugar. But be warned to avoid it if kidney function is moderately to severely reduced. Also on this list are DBP or inhibitors, like sitagliptin and leniliptin. These are easy to take, have few side effects, carry almost no risk of hypoglycemia, and are ideal for seniors on multiple medications. Next is the selective use group, which should be considered based on overall health. This includes L-hormone receptor agonists, such as semaglutide and liraglutide, which lower blood sugar and support weight loss. They are especially beneficial for those with heart disease, but it's important to note they can cause nausea or loss of appetite, so you must monitor this closely. Another option is S-GLP inhibitors, like empagliflozin and dapagliflozin. These protect the heart and kidneys and reduce hospitalizations for heart failure. But you should watch for dehydration and urinary infections, as this requires careful follow-up. Finally, we have the red list, which includes drugs that should never be used in older adults. This includes sulfonylureas, like glibenclamide and gliclazide, which have a very high risk of low blood sugar, especially if meals are skipped or reduced. They are not recommended for anyone over 65, and glibenclamide is especially dangerous. Also on the red list is ripagline, which is short-acting but can still cause severe hypoglycemia and is unsuitable if memory or eating patterns are inconsistent. For a real-world example, consider Mr. James, 79, from New Jersey. James took glibenclamide for 5 years. He usually ate normally, but a recent loss of taste led him to skip meals. The result was a severe hypoglycemic episode, a broken hip from a fall, and a 3-week hospital stay. When his doctor reviewed his medications, they switched him to a DBP full inhibitor. Within weeks, his blood sugar stabilized with no more wild swings. The key lessons here are that old medications don't always fit the bodies we have now, and saving a few dollars on pills can cost tens of thousands in hospital bills and your loved one and mobility. What if medications alone aren't enough? Should insulin be used? The answer may surprise you. Insulin isn't as scary as you think, but it must be used the right way. In the next chapter, I will guide you through when to start insulin in seniors, which types are safest and easiest to manage, and how to keep seniors safe from hypoglycemia even with daily injections. Many people panic when they hear insulin. They think each gene the resort, a sign the disease is hopeless. But for older adults, insulin isn't a death sentence. It can be a lifesaver when used correctly. Seniors might still need insulin because by age 70 and beyond, the pancreas weakens, beta cells tire out, and natural insulin levels drop sharply. Even with oral medications, blood sugar can spike dangerously after meals. That's when insulin can step in as gentle support, not necessarily a high-dose blastba. The safest insulin for seniors is long-acting basal insulin, which involves 1 injection per day for steady control over 24 hours. Its advantages include a low risk of hypoglycemia and no strict meal timing needed, unlike fast-acting insulin, making it ideal for independent, older adults. Research from Johns Hopkins shows that insulin analogs significantly reduce complications and hypoglycemia risk compared to older insulins. The safe use principles for seniors include starting very low, often 10 units daily or less. You should use easy-to-operate pens with large displays or voice prompts, especially if self-injection is tricky. Always check blood sugar before injection, especially if appetite or food intake is poor, and combine with CGM if possible to spot hidden swings. Take the real-life example of Emma, 82, from Liverpool. Emma fiercely resisted insulin, saying, why add injections to my life? But after repeated hospital stays from sugar levels over 400 milligrams per deciliter, her doctor suggested 1 daily basal injection. After just 1 week, Emma felt alert, slept deeply, and stopped waking at night to urinate, she said. But if I'd known how easy this is, I'd have agreed long ago. There are some important warnings to consider. Avoid fast-acting insulin before meals. If the senior often skips meals, has memory issues, or lacks supervision. Also, always carry fast-acting glucose, like gel or tablets, in a jacket pocket or wallet for emergencies. In summary, insulin isn't too scary. Oral meds aren't the only option, and technology can help keep seniors safe. Coming next is nutrition, because at this age, the wrong diet not only raises blood sugar, but also causes muscle loss, cognitive decline, and shortens lifespan. Chapter 6 will cover how many calories seniors should eat each day, how much protein fights sarcopenia, and the most dangerous menu myths to avoid when planning meals for your parents. If you think a diabetes diet for older adults is just less sugar, less fat, more vegetables, you may be unknowingly putting your parents at risk of malnutrition. The diabetic study shows that seniors eating less than 24.85 kilocalories per kilogram of body weight per day have a significantly higher mortality rate. Eating too little is bad, and over-restricting is downright dangerous. So, how many calories should a senior with diabetes eat? For those under 75 years old, the recommendation is 24.86 to 29.73 kilocalories per kilogram per day. For those 75 and older, it's 29.74 to 34.78 kilocalories per kilogram per day. For example, a 60-kilogram gentleman needs about 1,800 to 2,000 kilocalories per day, not just a thin gruel that barely sustains him. Protein is the weapon against age-related muscle loss. Diabetes increases the risk of sarcopenia, or muscle wasting, making seniors more prone to falls, weakness, and loss of independence. You should aim for about 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram per day, unless severe kidney disease is present. For a 60-kilogram person, that would be 60 to 72 grams of protein per day. Good protein sources include salmon, mackerel, eggs, low-fat, dairy, skinless chicken, tofu, and lentils. For carbohydrates and fiber, it's about balancing blood sugar. Not all carbs are bad. Instead of cutting them out, switch to complex, fiber-rich choices like brown rice, oats, whole grains, sweet potatoes, beans, legumes, dark leafy greens, carrots, and broccoli. These slow glucose absorption, preventing sharp post-meal spikes. Healthy fats are indispensable for seniors. Unsaturated fats help absorb vitamins and protect the heart. These can be found in olive oil, canola oil, walnuts, almonds, avocado, and fatty fish rich in omega-3s. You should avoid animal fats, repeatedly heated oils, and processed snacks. Consider the real-life story of Mr. Michael, 76, from New Zealand. After his type 2 diabetes diagnosis, his daughter imposed an ultra-strict menu with almost no starch or red meat, consisting mostly of boiled vegetables. 3 months later, he experienced a slight drop in HbA1c, but also lost 6 kilograms of muscle, had constant fatigue, a shaky gait, and new diagnosis of sarcopenia, anemia, and afternoon hypoglycemia. Once his diet was adjusted to include sufficient calories and more protein, his health rebounded quickly. He smiles now and says, "Bah, I eat well and no longer live in fear." The golden rules to remember are to not eliminate entire food groups, but improve their quality instead. Don't to over-restrict. Eat smart, not minimal. And eat enough and on time, spreading 3 to 4 meals per day to avoid low blood sugar. In the next chapter, we will discuss a ibuprofen but powerful medicine, physical activity. IO seniors can exercise safely, avoid falls, and still lower blood sugar and boost longevity. Looking for a natural way to lower HbA1c, improve sleep, boost immunity, and cost absolutely nothing? The answer is the right kind of physical activity. DDN, the most powerful balm medicine for older adults with diabetes. A study in Archives of Gerontology and Geriact found that moderate exercise can lower HbA1c by an average of 0.34 to 0.54%, an effect similar to some oral medications. And the benefits don't stop there. Exercise leads to better insulin sensitivity, stronger heart and lung function, improved balance with fewer falls, reduced depression, anxiety and insomnia, and protection against cognitive decline. The ideal weekly exercise program for seniors, as recommended by the ADA, should include aerobic or cardio activity for at least 150 minutes of moderate activity, like brisk walking, or 75 minutes of vigorous activity, such as swimming or cycling. It should also include strength training for at least 2 sessions per week, focusing on major muscle groups like the arms, legs, back, and core. Lastly, it should incorporate balance exercises 2 to 3 times per week, with activities like yoga, tai chi, one-legged stands, or side steps. Consider the real-life example of Miss Linda, 80, from Melbourne, Australia. After a fall in her bathroom broke her wrist, Linda and Son hired a home physical therapist for just 2 sessions a week. 2 months later, Linda was walking confidently again. Her HbA1c dropped from 8.2% to 7.6%. She slept soundly through the night, and her spirits soared. Linda says, "Bah, I used to exercise to avoid falling. Now I exercise to stay healthy and play with my grandchild." Suggested activities for seniors include gentle walks around the neighborhood, swimming or aquatic therapy to reduce joint stress, therapeutic yoga for flexibility and relaxation, lightweight training to maintain muscle and bone strength, and slow dancing for joy and brain health. There are some important safety tips to remember. Always check blood sugar before, during, and after exercise. Carry quick-acting glucose like candy or juice in case of low blood sugar. Avoid exercise if blood sugar is below 100 milligrams per deciliter. Or if you feel unwell, stay hydrated, especially when exercising outdoors, and wear well-supporting non-slip shoes. A daily walk can do more good than an expensive prescription. Sometimes, a simple exercise bench in the living room can add healthy years to your life. But all the effort in diet, medication, and exercise can be undone by one thing: low blood sugar. In the next chapter, I will explain why hypoglycemia is 3 times more dangerous in older adults. The silent danger signs you must catch early, and a home rescue plan that can save your parents within the critical first 15 minutes. Did you know that low blood sugar doesn't just make seniors feel weak? It's a leading cause of sudden death in older adults with diabetes. By definition, a blood glucose level below 70 milligrams per deciliter is hypoglycemia. But in seniors, that number alone doesn't capture how dangerous it can be. Hypoglycemia is especially perilous in older adults because they may experience blunted hunger, thirst, and trembling, meaning they may not sense the drop. Their bodies also have weakened counter-regulatory hormones, so the body can't correct itself. Additionally, cognitive decline or dementia can prevent them from knowing how to respond, and they often live alone or without close supervision. Consequences can include fainting in the night, falls and broken bones, irregular heart rhythms, seizures or coma, and even unexplained death. Hypoglycemia signs in seniors are often subtle. They might include sudden fatigue, uncharacteristic irritability, blurred vision, drowsiness or slow reactions, unsteady walking, or slurred speech and confusion. If your loved one suddenly seems off, weak, confused, or unsteady, check their blood sugar immediately. Consider the real-life story of Mr. George, 83, from Seattle. A retired math teacher living alone since his wife passed away, George was diligent about meals and medication. One morning, he collapsed at the breakfast table. Luckily, the mail carrier found him and called 911. His blood sugar was 42 milligrams per deciliter. A 30-minute delay could have been fatal. The best prevention strategies include loosening HbA1c targets, as we discussed in Chapter 2, choosing low-risk medications like metformin and DPP-4 medians, using a SAGE-AM with low sugar alerts, and keeping meals on schedule with enough calories. For home emergency, steps for hypoglycemia. If they're awake and able to swallow, give them 15 to 20 grams of fast-acting glucose, such as 3 glucose tablets, 1 tablespoon of honey, or 4 ounces of regular soda. Wait 15 minutes, then recheck their blood sugar. If it's still below 70 milligrams per deciliter, repeat the process once. Once stable, offer a light snack with carbs and protein, like toast and an egg. If they are unconscious, do not give anything by mouth. Administer glucagon, if available. Call 911 immediately, and place them on their side to prevent choking. Create a diabetes first aid kit at home containing glucose tablets or small sugary drinks. A reliable glucometer, a medical ID card stating diabetes, the emergency contact numbers for their doctor and family, and if possible, a glucagon injection kit or emergency rescue pen. Hypoglycemia isn't a sudden accident. It's the result of missed knowledge and preparation. By reading this chapter, you are already ahead of most families in protecting your loved ones. But if you truly want to safeguard their mobility and independence, there's one more critical area: foot care. In the next chapter, I would explain why feet are a red hot zone for seniors with diabetes, how to inspect, care for, and prevent foot ulcers and amputations, and how to choose specialized shoes and socks that protect feet every day. You might not notice it, but every step an older adult with diabetes takes is a silent battle. The feet, farthest from the heart with the lowest blood flow yet the most vulnerable. Statistics show that 14 to 24% of seniors with diabetic foot ulcers end up needing a lower limb amputation. And after amputation, 5-year mortality rates reach 70%, higher than many cancers. Seniors' feet are so at risk due to nerve damage or neuropathy, which causes no pain, heat, or cold sensation. They also have poor circulation, which leads to slow healing of even minor wounds. Reduced vision and slow reactions means small cuts go unnoticed, and a weakened immunity allows infections to spread rapidly. Consider the story of Mrs. Isabella, 75, from Florence, Italy. A small scrape from flip-flops turned into an ulcer. Because it didn't hurt, she didn't notice. A week later, her son detected a foul odor. The diagnosis was a diabetic foot ulcer with gangrene, and the outcome was that she lost 3 toes. From today on, check your parents' feet every single day. A simple home foot check routine involves inspecting both feet thoroughly, including the top, bottom, heels, toes, and between the toes. Use a mirror for the soles if needed. You should watch for signs like cuts, blisters, redness, swelling, peeling, or discolored cold or purple-tinged skin, as well as ingrown thick or fungal-infected nails. Proper foot hygiene involves washing daily with warm, not hot water and gentle soap, and drying completely, especially between the toes. Don't soap the feet for too long, and apply moisturizer while avoiding the areas between the toes. For safe nail care, trim nails straight across, not rounded, to prevent ingrown nails, and file them smooth afterward. If it's hard to reach, get help from a gara or a podiatrist. Protective footwear should have a wide toe box with no pinching. Be made of soft, breathable materials and have a cushioned sole with arch support. Avoid high heels, flip-flops, and stiff shoes. For socks, recommendations include stretchy cotton that wicks moisture, a seamless inside with no rough ridges, and a snug but not tight fit that is never too loose. They should be changed daily, even if they don't look dirty. Feet are the roots of freedom. A single ulcer can steal the ability to walk, bathe, shop, and ultimately their independence. But no matter how much you learn or how well you follow every step, seniors can still be left vulnerable unless they have loving support at home. In the next chapter, I will show you how families can become the first line of defense against complications, the essential knowledge every carer needs, and smart tips for daily management of medications, nutrition, exercise, and blood sugar checks. You can buy the best insulin. You can set up the most advanced CGM. But if your parents live in loneliness, all those efforts will slowly fade away. A study in Thailand with 354 older adults who have diabetes showed that the Galia knowledge and actions directly affect the patient's quality of life, with key statistics showing a strong correlation for Garo knowledge, Gala behavior, and the patient's own self-care behavior. You are the irreplaceable medicine. So what should a Garo do each day? First, you should monitor their blood sugar. Remind them to check at the right times, like early in the morning, before meals, or when they feel bo. Record the results in a notebook or an app, and watch for unusual signs like confusion, extreme tiredness, or loss of balance. Contact the doctor if readings swing wildly. Second, support healthy eating. Prepare meals with complex carbs, lean protein, and healthy fats. Serve appropriate portions, not too much, and ensure they don't skip meals. Make sure they drink enough water, as dehydration can cause low blood sugar, and don't let them snack on sweets alone when you're not around. Third, manage medications carefully. Remind them to take their medicine on time and organize a daily or weekly pill box. Check expiration dates regularly and learn to spot side effects like dizziness, nausea, or swollen feet. Fourth, encourage safe exercise. Take a walk with your parent after meals. Do light morning exercises or follow a guided video. Ensure the exercise area isn't too slippery, and always check their blood sugar if the intensity changes. You don't have to be a doctor, but you do need to be a smart companion. But take Sarah's story. Sarah is 56 and lives in London. Her mother, Ruth, is 81, has diabetes, mild memory loss, and can be hard to please. Sarah never forced her mother into strict diets or workout. Instead, she walked with her mother for 10 minutes every afternoon, made mealtime a family event, used an app that reminded her mother to take medicine, and put a CGM on her mother that shared data with her. After 6 months, Ruth's HbA1c dropped from 8.8% to 7.6%, her mood improved, and most importantly, she stopped having sudden hospital stays. For home care training, it's useful to learn how to use a blood glucose meter, know how to handle low blood sugar emergencies, master balanced meal principles, learn foot care techniques, and keep a daily health journal. In conclusion, family is not just a support system. Bichian Abo, lifeline for older adults with diabetes. You don't have to do everything, but by doing just one thing each day, you help your parents live longer, healthier, and with dignity. So what about technology? Can older adults use modern medical devices? What tools can help you track from afar, remind about meds, or warn you of trouble? In the next chapter, we will explore senior-friendly technologies, Mingay, say MS, and apps to Bluetooth insulin pens, and the artificial pancreas. Have you ever thought, but my parents are too old to handle modern technology? That's a big mistake. Research on international communities like Health Unlocked and Reddit shows that older adults can absolutely use advanced medical devices if they properly trained and supported. And in the era of smart healthcare, these technologies can save your parents' lives, even when you can't be right beside them. First, CGM is more than just a glucose meter. It protects 24/7. As mentioned in Chapter 3, devices like Gescum and Freestyle Libre monitor glucose every 5 minutes, alert for highs and lows in real time, and share data with you via an app. You can open the app on your phone and see your parents' glucose at 2 m and receive an alert if levels drop, so you can call them immediately to intervene. Second, there are smart insulin pens. Pens like InPen and NovoPen help you record each insulin dose, remind you if a dose is missed, and sync with your phone so you can check remotely. Some even calculate the needed dose based on current glucose, which is extremely helpful for seniors living alone or who often forget. Third are smart pill boxes. These can ring, vibrate, or play a reminder at scheduled times and light up to show which medication to take. Some connect via Wi-Fi to alert family if doses are missed. Examples include MedMinder, Hero, and PureDrill. Fourth, there are all-in-one diabetes management apps for seniors. Apps like Glucose Buddy, MySugar, Blue Star Diabetes, and Health Hysing offer automatic glucose logging, medication and meal reminders, activity tracking, and trend charts for blood sugar. Some even use AI to suggest diet and exercise tweaks. Fifth is the artificial pancreas, or Aron insulin delivery. For seniors with type 1 diabetes, AID is a game changer. A CGM continuously measures glucose and sends data to a control system that calculates the insulin dose. An insulin pump then delivers the exact amount at the exact time. Like an artificial pancreas, it works fully automatically and is ideal for seniors living alone or who can't have self-managed doses. Sixth, there are special devices for vision or mobility impairments. These include talking glucose meters, meters with large print screens, apps with able senior mode, and emergency wrist buttons to call for help if they fall or have low blood sugar. Take Thomas Jin's story. Thomas is 84 and lives in Boston. After 2 nighttime lows sent him to the hospital, his daughter set him up with Freestyle Libre and an InPen. She also linked both devices to her phone. Now, when his glucose falls below 80, she gets an alert within 30 seconds and calls him to have a snack or drink milk. The result has been 6 months with 0 severe hypoglycemic episodes. Technology does to replace you, but it helps you care for your parents remotely, 24/7. Whether you brace at work, abroad, or just taking a break, we've now covered the both survival ecosystem for seniors with diabetes treatment goals and medications to diet, exercise, and technology. But one more thing matters just as much: real-world questions from the community. Let Jun answer these in the next chapter to understand the psychology, emotions, and realities of millions of families worldwide. After hundreds of videos, emails, and comments, these are the questions we've gotten most often, and they reflect the deepest worries children of older adults face. The first question is, "But my mom is 85, has diabetes and mild dementia. Do we still need strict blood sugar control?" The expert answer from USFF is no, and in fact, tight control can sometimes do more harm than good. Older adults, especially those with dementia, usually don't live long enough to benefit from aggressive HbA1c goals. Instead, you should aim to avoid hypoglycemia, keep her mentally alert and not more confused, and focus on her quality of life. It's important to continue regular blood sugar checks and medications, but it's entirely reasonable to relax her HbA1c target to around 8 to 8.5%. The second question is, "But my dad is 70, has had diabetes a long time, but refuses to change his lifestyle. What can I do?" Advice from Reddit communities and medical psychologists is to start with small personalized changes. Don't force Bojim Welba, but instead invite him for a short walk after meals. Don't ban all his favorite foods, just modify how they're prepared. Talk less like a doctor and more like a caring child, and seek support from his family doctor or a peer support group. Many people don't do change because they fear illness. They change because they want to see their grandchild and wedding. Finding that emotional bond why is the key. The third question is, but can older adults really use technologies like CGM? The answer is yes, if you were patient and pick the right device. In one study, 81% of seniors used AGM successfully after just 2 weeks of instruction. Some tips include choosing a simple device with few steps, starting slowly by perhaps only looking at the morning and evening, trends at first, having a family member help monitor, and using data sharing features. Many seniors feel empowered when they see they're in control of their health, not dependent on it. The fourth question is, Balls, should I worry more about high blood sugar or low blood sugar in my 90-year-old mother? The short answer is that hypoglycemia is more dangerous. A single low sugar episode can cause coma, falls with fractures, or sudden death, whereas high sugar causes damage over years. For those over 80, an HbA1c of 8 to 8.5% is a good goal. There's no need to push down to 6.5 to 7%, as in younger adults. You should focus on stability and avoiding big swings and acute emergencies. In summary, don't to apply a perfect young adult standard to seniors. Every patient is unique. Listen, support, and create the most comfortable life possible. Because one day, we will all grow old too. After all the knowledge, tips, stories, and strategies, the final question is, what can we do starting today to make a real difference? Join me in the final section, where we bring it all together into one powerful, inspiring message for millions of families. There, and one truth we often avoid. Older adults with diabetes need more than medication. They need understanding, patience, and love. They don't need you to be a doctor. They don't need you to know every drug name, the latest insulin, or their exact HbA1c target. They just need you to listen, to be there, and to learn alongside them, one step at a time. Starting today, remember these 3 things, and you will be doing more for your parents than millions of others. Don't use young blood sugar goals for seniors. Personalize, be gentle, and be flexible. Avoid hypoglycemia at all costs by choosing safe medications, monitoring closely, and not letting a single low sugar episode steal a life. And never underestimate your role, because you, more than any doctor, have the greatest impact on your parents' quality of life. Share this video with your siblings. Download the checklist I've attached and post it on your fridge to remind yourself every day. Hit subscribe not just to follow me, but to join a community of children who care for their parents with science, compassion, and dignity. In the next video, I will show you how to create a 7-day meal plan specifically for older adults with diabetes, including calculating calories, dividing portions, suggesting age-friendly dishes, and turning home cooking into healing food. You want to miss it. If you made it this far, you are someone special, someone who understands that caring for your parents is not just a responsibility, but a child and highest honor. See you in the next video, where we will keep helping our parents not just live, but live well, live joyfully, and live with dignity.